Ahoy there! But you thought there was no one driving the boat then, didn't you? I thought that might be a little bit amusing. Anyway, today join me on a beautiful mid-autumn day at my local sailing club. Thanks to the safety crew that have managed to scramble together enough personnel to allow me to go out on the water. As you can see from behind me, there is just one boat out at the moment. There will be quite a lot more out soon, because there is a RS 100 and 700 event being held today. But the reason for me saying hello this week is I have a 3 days afloat on a dinghy video, and someone had asked about my reefing system. They kindly mentioned that it looked quite tidy. So I wasn't quite sure whether they were referring to the reefing points on the sail or the reefing lines themselves, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to cover both just now. Right, so the first thing is I have got a deep second reef, which is that row of red dots on the sail up there, and those red dots are plastic. They're called TYGA Clips, TYGR I think. And then I've got another row down here. So my first reefing line is actually quite deep, so that's from there down to there, which removes that amount of sail area. And then my second reefing line is even deeper, just under the numbers. So that takes out a massive chunk of sail, which is perfect for really blowy conditions. And then I have got a heavy duty stainless steel kringle there with some reinforcing on the sail there, and then the same on the second one. Then at the back, I can get to the back, I have, if you follow the red line up, that goes to a kringle which is at the end of the first reefing line, and then the green line goes up to another kringle up there, which is the end of the second reefing line. Then they come down here to this point here. So we've got this green line is for the second reef, the red line is for the first reef, and that is anchored this side. Oh, hang on, I've got to change direction just a second. The red line starts here on, got a bobble, got a cleat, and that runs along the boom, goes through a fair lead, goes to a pulley which is anchored in that position there on the boom, then it goes up to the bottom of the sail, it goes down the far side, back down to exactly the same point on the opposite side of the boom, but it's anchored there. That's where the rope terminates. And then the green one is the opposite way around. The start of it is here, but on the other side of the boom, and the line runs along fair leads through a block, which is the opposite side of that green one there, up through that kringle up there, down this side, and it's terminated there. And what that does, when I pull on this line here, it will pull that end of the sail down and bring it down onto the boom. And then at the front, this kringle here will be pulled all the way down to here, and it's held in place by this line. So this line here is anchored on the mast there, if I can see it, yeah. and then that will go up through that kringle, and then it will come down onto this cleat on this side of the boom. Now I know most people have a stainless steel S hook here, but I found the curl on the hook was so acute that it was actually quite difficult to undo. So I came up with this idea, which I will demonstrate in a second when I head into wind and make sure I'm not on the race course. Oh, and then this bit here, and there's another one on the other side, if I can get out of the light. That bit there is just a belay hook. So all this line that is pulled through when I put a reef in, you can imagine all this red line, there's going to be loads of it. So I coil that up, and then I just wrap that up inside here, and that just hooks on there like that and holds it in place. But I'm going to show you that. I'll put the camera, I'll try and fast somewhere where you can see all that in action and see how it works. Okay, so I've got the boat pointing into wind, what little wind there is, just so I can concentrate on, not worry about the boat and just concentrate on this, explaining my reefing system. The first thing I do is slacken my kicking strap if I want to reef, and then I come to the working side of the boat, which for me is the port side, and this is my halyard for the mainsail. So I undo that, slacken that off, and then I can pull the luff of the sail down. Oh, it allows me to pull the luff of the sail down. But what I do first is I always start with the first reef, which is this red line. So I pull on this here like that, and as I pull that, you can see there it's pulling the sail down. It's pulling the anchor point to meet up with the boom. So if I do that, there you go, you can see that that is now pulled all that sail out down to the boom, and you see all this green line is slack as well. Right. So you see how my kicking strap is now a bit tighter. Anyway, so what I do now is I have to pull the luff of the sail, of the mainsail down until this kringle is about here, and then I take my reefing rope, tack rope, and I poke that through there. I'm trying to do this one-handed, of course, a bit tricky. That's it. So that I pull that pulls the tack of the first reefing point nice and tight, and then I put that in this cleat here, and that holds that down. Let me just show you the back here. This point here, where the red line, my reefing line, pulls down to the boom, this position is quite crucial. You can see I've got some holes there and one that I filled in there because I had them in the wrong place, and that actually made reefing a bit difficult. So if being pulled too far aft, it restricts you being able to pull the luff of the sail down when you're reefing. If it's too far forward, then you don't get a nicely set sail. So that took me 3 attempts to get that in the right place. Probably had I thought about it a bit better initially, I would have done it on first attempt, but that's something to consider if you're building this reefing system. So then this red line is the first reef, so that comes, it's anchored on the other side, just where my hand is, comes up through this kringle, through that pulley, and then along here through a fair lead to keep it tidy, through this cleat, and that is what is holding it down. Now I've got all this spare rope which I need to sort out, so I'll show you what I do with that. What I do with that, with the excess rope, is I just wrap that around my fingers so it's looped, you can see, and then I get the feed line in and pull it through the loop, and I can wrap it over the belay hook like that, and then that keeps it nice and tidy. So the next thing I've got to do now is just tidy up the sail. Right, hopefully my camera will stay on and not end up in the lake, but the other thing I need to do is just pull the green line out of the way. Okay, so what I'm doing now, the red line is tight, so I've pulled the clue of the reefing line down to the boom. The tack of the reefing line is now secured at the front. What I need to do now is just secure the main halyard to pull the luff tight again. So I will do that. In fact, to be honest, I did that the wrong way around. I should have tighten the main halyard first and then pull the tack of the reefing point down. That just keeps the luff of the sail nice and tight. Forgive me for that, doing that the wrong way around. Anyway, so now I've got this this baggy trouser effect going on the sail, that the amount of sail area that I've removed needs tidying up. So what I do there is I roll that up like so, and I roll it up to these reefing lines, and then on the far side I've got these red TYGA clips, and all I do is I put the bungee through there, and it's got like a cleat built in, and that's it. Nice and super quick to do, nice and easy. So I roll the sail up, pull my reefing bungee. On the far side it's got a TYGA clip. I pull that through like that, and that gives me a really nice tidy set reefed sail. So on this side now, my second reef line, so I've pulled that just to take the slack out. So what I need to do is belay that as well. Right, so now this side, even though it's not actually putting the second reef in, I do have all this excess line that I need to tidy up. So again, I just wrap that around my fingers, and I can either belay it like I showed you the other one, which goes over the hook, or I can use the actual belay hook to its intended form. Grab that little bit of string, then that hooks over there, and that keeps that nice and tidy. So now I pull on my kicking strap to tension that again, and then the sail's nicely set. Off I go sailing. The second reef, if I wanted to put the second reef, I would have to release my kicking strap again, release my main halyard so I can pull the luff down, and then this rope here goes through the kringle there on the end of the first reef line. I will take that out and put it through the kringle on the end of the second reef line, and then I would have to pull this green line to pull the clue of the main sail at the end of the second reef line down towards the boom, and that will remove another slab of sail. But it's the same principle. I can wrap it up using the TYGA clips. TYGA clips, that's what I'll show you. These TYGA clips I got these online, chandlers, and they're just a plastic clip with a hole in the middle and then this little slot here which is like a cleat, and then I just put a stopper knot to hold it in place. Right, this time I'm just putting the second reef in, as you can see. So what I've done is I've released the kicking strap, I released the main halyard and I pulled the sail down, and I've pulled the second kringle. It's about 8 inch or so above where I want it to be, and then I've now tied off the main halyard. So now when I pull my tack line through, I can pull that tight, and you see it pulls the sail down nice and tight. Again, doing this one-handed is a bit dodgy. There we are. And now I can use my second set of these TYGA clips. So let's do that. Right, so now I have got my second reefing line in. So you can see my numbers are just there, look. There's I sit down here, there's very little, there's very little sail left. It's like a handkerchief. Right, so I am tightening my kicking strap again, and then I've just got to do this belay thing, which again is really difficult with one hand, but I will do it and then show you what I've done. Okay, so there it is. I've belayed my reefing line on the belay hook, and it's all nice and tidy, as is the actual reefing line, setup. The sail's nicely set. Okay, so if you're just getting into dinghy cruising and you're going coastal cruising, sailing on the sea, sailing without a safety cover, going on your own or going in a fleet, whatever, second to a VHF radio, I would say reefing ability could save your life one day. You never know, you get these squalls that crop up out of nowhere and you've got too much sail area, struggling to handle the boat. If you can reduce that sail area quickly while you're afloat, like I say, it could save your life. So well worth researching for your boat, how to set it up on your boat, and get it implemented. Right, as there is no wind, I'm going to take both reefing systems out and sail back. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.